Hi guys, welcome to the axial skeleton part 2. For this we are going to be covering the sternum, ribs, and vertebral column. So we're going to start by going over the sternum. The sternum is the term that you guys would use would be your breastbone. So it's this region right here. The sternum is made up of 3 bones, the manubrium, the body, and the xiphoid process. So the manubrium is the most superior portion of the sternum. So it's this bone right here. There's a suture right here separating the manubrium from the second portion of it, which is the body, this long portion right here. So the manubrium is superior, the body is in the center, and then the most inferior portion, which is down here, is called the xiphoid process. All right, so these 3 bones fuse together to form the sternum. All right, so our next set of bones are the ribs, right? These right here. So you have a total of 12 ribs, and we break the ribs into 3 different categories. The first category is your true ribs. Those are ribs 1 through 7. So rib 1 is right here. You've got rib 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 1 through 7 are your true ribs. We call them true ribs because the rib has a direct connection of cartilage to it that connects to the sternum. All right, so each of these has their own connecting line directly to the sternum. All right, those are the true ribs. So the only true rib that you need to be able to identify is rib 1, which is up here. All right, now rib 1 up close is very distinctive. It's the smallest rib. It looks like this. So it has a very unique look to it. All right, so again, if I was to give you this on the exam, you would say this is rib 1, all right, or first rib. Either is acceptable. Our next set of ribs are the false ribs. Okay, so false ribs are numbers 8 and 10, or excuse me, 8 through 10, pardon me. All right, so our false ribs, the thing that's interesting about them is those don't have their own direct line of cartilage to the sternum. Instead, the 3 connect to a piece of cartilage, which then connects to a piece of cartilage, which connects to the sternum. So we call them false ribs because they don't each have their own direct line of cartilage that comes from the bone that connects directly to the sternum. Okay, the cartilage all connects together and then connects to the sternum. All right, so again, those are the false ribs as opposed to the true ribs that have their own direct line of connection. All right, so our very last 2 ribs, ribs 11 and 12, are called the floating ribs, and they are best seen from the posterior view. So these are the floating ribs back here, all right, and the floating ribs do not articulate with the sternum at all. They just connect to your vertebrae. So again, it's like they're suspended or floating. All right, so those are our last 2. So again, our true ribs are 1 through 7, all right? Our false ribs are 8 through 10, and our floating ribs are 11 and 12.